Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome into the mother and daughter video. My name is Naya,
Hello, my name is Nicole.
and we will be bringing to you a word. Well, the Holy Spirit will be bringing forth the word through us as we, submit ourselves. Because God has a word that will help grow relationships, help grow generations, things that we didn't know before. It's just like a wisdom that has been awakened within generations and within us. So we pray it helps you as well as it has helped in helping our family.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I agree. I agree. Yes, we come with the word that will enrich your family, that will enrich your mindset, that will enrich relationships. We are so happy in
Yes.
broken relationships that need to be mended. I am so happy for this word because it really helped me.
Amen.
Um, because God has really been dealing with people that's been suppressed and didn't know they were suppressed, or they in relationships that cause suppression. So people think they have taken off. Imagine, close your eyes and imagine you on a runway. This is how the God gave me this vision as He was dealing with suppression. Um, you in this relationship, but you on a runway, but you never taking off. You know how a plane, just imagine a plane going down the runway, right? And it has this heavy weight on it. It's trying to take off. It's trying to accelerate. It's trying to go in the sky, but it can't because it has too much weight. And that's how the relationships we in, or the relationships that caused us to have suppressed feelings. So we have all this weight that's weighing us down, but we are in relationships, or we have been in relationships that we think have taken off, but it's still on the runway. We haven't accelerated. So as God was giving me this vision of that, He took me back memory lane of suppressed feelings from childhood, suppressed feelings in different areas with friendship, just with different relationships. And he was saying, um, you know, as taking me back to like parenthood. God have called us as parents. I'm sorry, but the Holy Spirit will shift. So just follow me. It's like puzzles.
Yeah, amen.
So, um, parents, as parents, our kids look up to us, you know, but sometimes our authority, we think that we are only one way that our kids, to teach our kids to be, is very authoritative. And that's good to be authoritative. God is authoritative. He had me to look at it in this angle. God is authoritative. He is almighty. Yes, He is. But He also calls us friends. So it's okay to be friends, to break the barrier. It's okay to be friends with your son and your daughter. It's great to build that bond, because if your kid only sees you as an authority but can't open up to release how they feel, that suppressed feeling, or they can't trust you to
Mm-hmm.
embed their deepest, darkest feeling to you without suppressing it, then they'll go a whole lifetime with these strongholds, with this baggage, this weight that they will carry on from relationships to relationship. Yes, parents, we are the first relationship that our kids will ever have. So you are the builder of their relationships that they will forever form in a
Amen. The
lifetime.
foundation.
Yes, you are the foundation. So,
And I don't mean to cut you off,
go
but
ahead.
I'm just gonna give the definition of suppression so that you can pinpoint exactly what it is, so you can recognize exactly what suppression is and if you're dealing with it or a family member is dealing with it. Because even if we're not dealing with it, you can also pray for another person, or let another person know exactly what's going on with them. So suppression, the definition is purposely trying to forget or not think about painful or unwanted thoughts. So you're trying to suppress that thing, trying to not think about it, trying to forget about it, not dealing with it.
Yes. So when you suppressing it, you start looking at these savory dishes. These savory dishes can be anything. My savory dish, I love junk food. Junk food is my happy place, you know. Um, that's when I start picking up weight, you know. It just made me feel good, but it was just a band-aid at that time, you know. My mother, she was a good mom. I mean, she worked 2 jobs, she did what she had to do, but she didn't know that she gave me structure, but she didn't give me the relationship that I needed to groom me. And when I say groom me spiritually, she didn't give me the relationship to groom me for the future me that you will see, you know, well, the future me as God intended me to be. I wouldn't have to go through all these hurdles if I was prepared, if she was open to receive what God wanted to download to her to get to me, to reach me in a certain way, to help combat all these obstacles, all these hurdles, all the negativity. I wasn't prepared, you know, because she wasn't open or submitted enough, you know. And let me give you an example. Like for Naya and I, we have a great bond. But to raise a good 20-year-old, she's 20, she's still, she never had a boyfriend. She's still, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
she's still a
yeah.
virgin.
Yes, I am.
She's
You
still
just
a
put.
virgin. She paid her way through school, you know. She know how to deal with obstacles. She know how to deal. She was prepared. God had to download to me how to teach her, how to groom her,
Yeah.
how to, you know, help me see the gifts in her. Help me see that, you know, even though I wasn't a great child, but oh, I was a horrible child. I was a child that talked back. I was a child that sneaked out. I love boys. It was so, I was bad.
Oh gosh.
but
Yeah.
you know, Naya never had to go through none of that because I went through all that. So I know the signs. I know how to talk to her about it. Some people don't want to talk to their kids about it. They just want to be on them. But you have to be open.
Yeah.
It's okay to have the authority figure, but you also have to be open enough to be their friend. And I know the old school tradition is you do as I say. And that's it. And we just leave it like that because I said so. But then if you don't build a relationship with your children, then
Yeah.
who can they talk to? If they can't talk to you or trust you or have an open heart to come to you,
That's true.
who can they talk to? If you can't build them up in every area in their life, then who's gonna do it?
Mm-hmm.
The
And,
streets, the
yep.
police, the world gonna do it.
Then they're looking for a foundation because they never had one. So now they're on a search for one. So whatever sticks is what they'll stick to. And I can say that because I have seen a lot of people do that within their lives who haven't had a good foundation, who hasn't had people or parents or guardians who have talked to them about certain things that they went through. So I would say parents who've gone through those things don't hold those things that you've don't suppress those things that you've gone through in your lifetime from your children, because then that can help them see a way out. They might be going through something that they've didn't know a way out of, but your story, your testimony could help them out if you're not suppressing those feelings. But then again, you have to deal with those within yourself too. And even when you release that onto your children, your daughter or your son, that could heal you as well as you're releasing it and teaching them how to go about those things. So that's what I would say.
Yes, and that brings up something. I remember when I was at a retreat and nobody knew this about me. I never told a soul when I was molested at a young age. I was 5 when I was molested. And I
Mm-hmm.
released that. And then the next thing I know, my daughter is telling me that she was molested. See, if I would never open my mouth up to say I was molested, she would never open up her mouth to say she was molested. And these things would continue to happen. We will
Mm-hmm.
continue to suppress these things. See,
Right.
we need to learn as parents not to hold these things. So because suppression, it came from my ancestors from generation to generation to generation. We have to look at suppression and stop it at the gate,
Right.
because we are the open door for our kids to thrive. We are the open door to for them to reach their destiny unhindered. We don't need anything trying
Mm-hmm.
to pull them down, trying to sink them, God, to sink them into darkness and try to hold them down from a saturation and keeping them on the runway. We trying to have them to thrive, to teach the generation to be whatever God called them to be.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
right.
they're a happy place because there's so many kids so depressed, so lonely, and they just waiting for the opportunity to have a great relationship with their parents, to where we not always
Mm-hmm.
at them, or talking at them instead of talking to them, you
Yeah,
know.
and sometimes that drives them to do the opposite of what you say, because it gets so aggravating, so overwhelming that, you know what, I just can't do anything right in your sight because you're so and the parents, they think that they're getting through to you by yelling at you, by staying on top of you, but really sometimes that pushes you further away, because it's like it seems as though, like, to children, like, that it seems as though you're
A
not
voice
doing
of
it. Yeah,
agitation.
yeah, it gets aggravating, and it seems like as though you're not doing anything right in their sight. That everything I do, it just seems like I'm just not doing it right to you. So you know what? Forget it. I'm gonna just do what I do anyway, or just to annoy you because you're always nagging at. It seems like they're nagging. So they're like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna just do what I do, and I'm gonna just learn my own way, because you're not teaching me anything. You're just saying don't do it. So why not? Why am I not doing it? Oh, because I said so. Okay, just because you said so, but why did you say so? Was there an experience behind that? Was there a lesson behind that? So when you're just not explaining those things, you're withholding some information, some wisdom that they can learn from, and they could be like, "Oh, I said don't do that because," like with the classic touching the stove example would be, "Don't touch the stove. Don't touch the stove. Why? Because I said so." But if you say don't touch the stove because if you touch it, you can get burnt, you can get a blister, you can get depending on how long you leave it, a 3rd-degree burn. Like if you go into detail, they'll understand about, whoa, I didn't know all that information. I didn't know that's what could cause it. But if you say, because I said so, they're going to try to figure out why. So they're going to touch it themselves anyway. So you just have to give information, give wisdom behind the reasons that you are telling them not to do something so that they can gain wisdom and actually know why these things happen, why. Because wisdom is very, very powerful to know a lot of things, for people perish without for lack of knowledge. And a lot of children, a lot of families are dying off spiritually because they don't know the roots that are within their families, because they lack knowledge. And the lack of knowledge is how people perish. So you don't want your families to perish spiritually or physically because you lack knowledge, because you're suppressing things, because you feel as though it's not important enough to bring up, because you feel as though, you know what, I'm tired of dealing with it. But those things that you're suppressing are important to bring to light, to kill it off. Those things that are not right, to kill it off, to you know, bring those things to light so that you're not passing it on to another generation and they're doing the same things that you did because you never gave them information about it.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. And another thing, control. Control is another way of causing the mind to shut down, and it also causes suppression. You know, we as parents, we as people, we use control as to dominate. We use control because we have the fear of losing control. So you're telling your kids, you know, this is what I said because I said so, type of thing. You know, it can be repetitive in their minds. But these kids, they want to, what I want to say, they like sponges. You know, what them words you plant, those words you say, those, like for example, for Cameron is my grandson. So at God gave me a word to call him Prosperous Cam. So that's when I'm speaking over him. Prosperous Cam. He is prosperous. He's the sweetest kind. I'm building him up as a baby. He's 3 months, but I started at 1 month. I've been building him up. So when someone comes into his life and try to tell him, oh, you're a slacker, or you lacking in this area, or you know, you're a sucker, you're a savage, all these little words that they think is cute out there, and they be saying, you know, I'm a savage. So he won't be caught up in what the world is saying and what these words are saying on the music. He would know that from when he was born. I've been calling him prosperous. I've been calling him, you know, he's more than a conqueror. I've been speaking life over him when the world is speaking these naysaying words.
So he'll know what side to go on, what to come into alignment with. So he'll know, because we have a choice. Like we have free will. We can choose what we come into agreement with, and a lot of people don't know that. Again, lack of knowledge. Knowledge is so powerful. Wisdom is so powerful to have. So that's why we have to continuously ask God to give us wisdom. So it's key to know what you can accept. You can accept and deny a lot of things. You can reject things. So when somebody says, girl, that's why you don't look that good in it, you can say, girl, I look good in it anyway, and continue to accept confidence and reject insecurities that people try to inflict on you. And once you begin to receive that wisdom, receive what God has spoken over you, then you would know what to reject, what to accept. Because God has already spoken and given us instructions, given us the promises, given us our names already. He's already called us by name already. He has called us his own. He has called us his loved ones. So,
most important, he calls us his friend.
and his friend again. Yes, amen.
Friend. You have to, when you have some people use friend as a loose terms. People don't know what the core meaning of friend, how to really be a friend, because number one, they suppress feelings. Number two, your first friend should be your parents.
Like when they say, I'm not your little friend. Well, yeah, and that's why I don't talk to you.
Right. I respect you, or sometimes they don't respect you. And they just like, only reason why I'm dealing with you because you're my parent. If you wasn't my parent, I really wouldn't like you, or I wouldn't be in
They
your
done
presence.
slapped you up.
And that's why so many people in the world who can go a lifetime without seeing their parents.
And the definition of friend is a person whom one knows and with whom one has a bond of mutual affection, and typically family relations. Like a companion is a synonym, a best friend, soulmate, etc. So it's a person who you have a mutual affection, so it's on both sides. So if you're not their friend, then it's not, you don't have a mutual agreement, a mutual bond. That means that it's just one-sided.
And that's why you be dealing with these rebellious kids.
And that means that y'all are divided. In the house,
Rejection,
divided.
resentment kids.
And a house divided against itself cannot stand. And that's why a lot of
Right.
families do not stand together, because they're already divided.
Yep. Dividing in their hearts, dividing their minds and spirits and soul. That's why we allow that little simple word friend to bend our relationship. But when I say bend it, you know how you see rubber band, when you bend it, it's supposed to bounce back. But sometimes we bend it. I want to say we bend and how I want to say it now. it won't come out. I see it, but it's not coming out right.
Stretching it.
Yes, you stretch it until it pops instead of letting it bend like a word that bounce. Like saying, for example, today. Well, what day that was? When I was telling you, Naya, um, what I was saying to you, and you was like, "Oh, mom, you're right." When I was correcting you.
Oh, with she was correcting me with multitasking with
Oh yeah,
my nephew.
and she got a little snappy, and I was like, "Well, hold up, sucker." I said in my head, I was like, I was about to get off work and come and pop her in her chin, but I had to back down. I had to calm down. I'm like, Naya, I'm telling you this because you need to learn how to multitask. I'm like, she was getting all frustrated because he needed his bottle, and when Cam need his bottle, he gets really crunk. So I was saying, you don't have to just stay in one place. You can bring him with you. Put him in the little bouncy and fits his stuff.
And it was more, well, personally, it was more not about multitasking. It was more about, like me personally, I have to deal with frustrating situations better. Because he was crying, I didn't want, and I had to do something else. I wanted to make sure that, it's kind of like frustrating to hear a baby cry. You want to get everything done, and you don't want. And I had to get the poopy diaper out the house so it's not smelling up the house. So I was like, oh gosh, it's stressful. But I had to deal with one thing at a time and not get frustrated. That's what I was saying. I know, I know. Like when I tell her that, so she was like, all right, calm down. But I understood what she was saying. Like, God will tell me afterwards. He'll be like, all right, you was wrong in that situation now. So that's why I apologize immediately after, because then you don't want to suppress that too. Because if I would have just been like, oh, well, she was wrong, you know what? Then that would have severed our relationship, because then I don't want to talk to you because I know you was wrong. You trying to correct me when I was in the right. That type of stuff.
And she walking around the house rolling her eyes, and I'm about to
With
get
the
her a two-piece right quick.
all because I didn't want to forgive, all because I didn't want to be in a place of receiving correction.
Right.
So, little things like that. It's the little things. It's not the biggest things. It starts small. It's stuff like that. Oh, because I don't want to receive correction. Okay, I got her next time. Let her say something else. It's like stuff like that. It's small stuff. So you have to catch it while it's there. So it's not while it's small. So you can sever those things, recognize those things, and call it out for what it is.
Yeah, because if you suppress it, then suppression starts with hate. That would be the second thing. You're looking at that person, living with that person, but you secretly hating them and disliking them for that one little thing that builds onto another little thing, and then it'll cause an explosion where you're just erupt. Oh my God! You remember when I erupt? I erupt like a volcano in this house when I was suppressed like 3 weeks ago. I mean, I let everybody have it in this house. And it's just multiple things that was suppressing me out, and it was my fault. But it's just that last little, how you stack up something, and that little one little like dominoes, like a domino effect. That one that be off surface, and it knocks everything out of whack. Yep, that one little thing of me losing my purse. Boy, I went off.
Yeah.
Everything, I was like a hurricane in the house. Everything that was in my way got mowed down. But and that comes from, because when you suppress things, it causes rage, and you, but you think you okay until that one last thing just push it over, and you like, you know what? That is it. That is it. Y'all finna get it. Everybody finna get it. You finna get these hens. You finna get this word. You can however you want it. You finna get it.
Yeah. So the way to really deal with it is really having, like, when I was in prayer, God was telling me and just showing me that communication is so key in relationships in general. If you don't communicate, then the message is never gonna get across. If you keep your mouth shut, we don't read minds, baby.
Yeah.
We don't read minds around here. So if you're not, unless God reveal it to us, but
Yeah.
if you don't open your mouth, then
How do I know you offended
yeah.
me?
So yeah.
Because some
So
people don't think they offended you. Because that's so, like, for instance, people can talk to you any type of way, you know, and they don't know that they pushing a button, or they cause a stronghold to occur and hurt your feelings.
but
And
if you
some people,
suppress it,
you
right?
suppress it, and people will not say sorry unless they know that they offended you.
And then you're not helping that other person by suppressing it either, because then they just think they can just say or talk to anybody like that anyway, because nobody ever corrected them.
Nobody ever
So
correct
because of
them.
your suppression, you are also furthering somebody else's putting somebody deeper into their controlling ways, or
Yeah.
putting somebody deeper into um,
Bad
being,
habits.
yeah, bad habits in general,
Because
because you
nobody
don't want to
put them in
speak
check.
up, because you want to forget about how they talk to you, because you want to forget.
Or
So,
you feel like they should know because they grown.
oh, they should know. They know what they
They should
doing.
know what they
Well, maybe
doing.
they don't. And
Maybe
now
they don't
because
because
you're,
nobody corrected them.
because
And
everybody feeling the same way,
and
everybody
that's
thinking the
probably
same way.
what they seen as a child.
And
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 that's
that's
how
the
they parent
foundation
talk to
again.
them.